Thank you so much, Leon. Yeah, thank you so much for having us, talking about the project on Mumble Melody. Stuttering is often portrayed negatively in popular culture, from Harry Potter to Marvel, Star Wars, Winnie the Pooh. And it's very unfortunate for people who stutter to have to deal with this type of stigmatization, because here is what people who stutter actually look like. You might recognize a few famous people who stutter, but for the most part, it's really people like you and me. It's an invisible struggle. And it touches 1% of all adults and 8% of children. And there is no cure. And here's what stuttering sounds like and feels like.
I've had speech therapy since March. The person I'm working with is like, she specializes in she specializes in stuttering.
And as you can imagine, stuttering often has huge impact on social interactions, quality of life, economic productivity. And it impacts so many parts of life because it impacts communication and sense of self-worth. And there are a number of approaches and treatments that have been tried to help. And an ideal treatment would need to be effective, accessible, and low cognitive load. One of the most effective is still speech therapy, because it's very personalized. But it's not always accessible, and it can take a long time. And our approach really doesn't try to compete, but really to work alongside speech-language pathologists and speech therapists. There are also hearing aid-like devices that exist on the market that add delays or pitch shift to the voice, but those are very expensive and generally not effective in the long term. And finally, there are apps that do the same type of audio transformation, but again, they're not very effective, and often the brain habituates to the new signal and restarts stuttering after a few weeks or months. And to understand why those audio transformation may work, here is really what our approach and the theory is telling us now. When a speaker talks, there are really two signals happening in the brain that are being compared. There is a prediction signal and there is a production signal. So, oops, am I things right? Okay, so for the first, the little one that stays in the brain is really this prediction. The brain predicts the sound, the action that you're going to do. And the bigger one outside is a production signal, is a feedback signal that you hear from your ears and from your sensory, your skin and your muscles. And those two signals are constantly compared in the part of the brain called the basal ganglia. And it seems that for people who stutter, there's a problem in this comparison. That's why when you change the feedback audio, that may help people who stutter by bypassing this issue. And our solution is to go beyond adding very simple delays or pitch shift, and it's to use music. So here's how it works. When someone speaks, we take the sound of their voice and we transform it in real time into a musicalized version of the same signal. And then we just feed it back to them. And when we did that using music, here is what happened.
The Notes app I use all the time, because if I think of something, I'm going to forget it, so just write it down. Or like little things that I see that I want to look into later, I write it down.
So this was the same person. And here's actually what she was hearing. It's a subtly musicalized version of her voice.
If I think of something, I'm going to forget it, so just write it down. Or like little things that I see that I want to look into later, I write it down.
So you might have seen the difference. And also, an additional element is that music is so rich and contains so many parameters that our approach can be personalized and individual and optimized to individuals. And so we can avoid this issue of brain habituation and people restarting stuttering. And our prototype is now available on the App Store, so really happy. You can download it. It's called Mumble Melody, and it's really exciting because we're really starting to get feedback from people. And we're a very strong partner on this. We're really focused on how the technology will be used on the market. So we're working with speech-language pathology, the NSA, National Stuttering Association, the Boston chapter, ASHA, the American Language Hearing Association, neurologists. And here's our team. We have great experts in neurology, clinical medicine, software, voice experience design, music. And finally, here are a few things that we're currently looking for. Looking for team member to help us, always looking for people who stutter to help us with our studies. And yeah, please come see us at our poster session. And thank you very much.